Stiff-legged deadlifts, a fantastic way to attack our hamstrings. They're different from a Romanian deadlift, but subtly. And you'll get lots of people arguing like, oh, that's not a stiff-legged deadlift, that's a Romanian, whatever. It doesn't really matter a ton. It's going to accomplish what we want it to. So with the RDL, with the Romanian deadlift, you're going to start from the top. You're going to push your hips back as far as you can. And if you push your hips back as far as you can, you're going to get a certain amount of knee bend naturally. With a stiff-legged deadlift, we're trying to take a lot of that knee bend out and keep our butt a little higher. So you can see my knees are less bent. And that's going to bias the hamstrings. It's going to hit your hamstrings a lot more and a little less hip and glute. So you can do a stiff-legged deadlift from the floor. You can do it from a deficit. It's going to depend on how flexible you are. And you can do it with a barbell, dumbbells, or kettlebells. I'm going to demonstrate with kettlebells. So for a stiff-legged deadlift, I'm going to keep my spine neutral. I'm going to keep my chin tucked or like packed. And as I go down, I'm going to keep my legs fairly straight. They don't need to be absolutely locked, but fairly straight, but fairly high. From there, you should find tension in your hamstrings. I'm going to find that tension in my hamstrings. I'm going to pull the slack out of my back, get it fairly neutral, and then keep my chin tucked and just drive through the floor, just like that. And that's a stiff-legged deadlift. You go back down, all the way to the ground, keeping tension in the hamstrings, but fairly high, drive through the floor. Now, if you have the flexibility to go deeper, you can get a bigger stretch, greater range of motion if you go from a deficit, and that can vary. The height on that can vary depending on just exactly how flexible you are. So for me, probably this is about as much of a deficit as I can really get away with cleanly. So similar, you can use a plate, you can use a low box, you can use blocks of wood, whatever you've got. I'm going to do the exact same thing, only I'm going to really drive my hips back even further, my butt's even higher. I'm still going to try to keep my chin tucked, my back in neutral. My hamstrings are really tight right now, and then just drive up. Now, one big thing that people make a mistake on, if they're new to this, is they let the bar or the kettlebells or dumbbells get too far away from them. They reach out like that. Keep it fairly close to your body, to your shins, which is why I personally like a kettlebell or a deadlift for this, because you can kind of go almost to the side just a little bit of your lower leg. A barbell is going to naturally pull you out more. And if you're just not as skilled, you're newer, that's going to be harder for you. So again, you can increase the deficit with an even higher block or box. This is probably a little bit more than I can get away with, because what you're going to see is look like right here, and you're going to start to see that bend in order for me to get all the way down. I'm not rounding my low back, but right about where my T-spine and my lumbar spine meet. So same thing. Just really drive I'm going to pull these back just a little bit more, right? Keep it closer to me. I'm going to really drive my hips back and up. I'm going to keep my chin tucked. And then right here, I'm going to try to pull the slack out of my back and then up. You got to be pretty flexible to get away with this big of a deficit. There's a lot of craze right now for maximum range of motion no matter what. And while that's good for building muscle, that can be bad if you're sacrificing good spinal position to increase that range of motion in the hamstring or whatever movement you're doing. But that's basically a stiff-legged deadlift, and you've got options based upon where your skill level is.